We like someone or we start dating them and it's not just working out and sometimes now because we know they understand each other and that understanding hinges on communication. So we don't just know how to talk to our partners. It's an in any intimate relationship we need for learn how to communicate, and sometimes communicating goes beyond talking itself. So the ability for effectively identify, articulate, and respond to feeling of your partner can be named as communication. So if you begin hearing phrases in a relationship like you always, you never, or you are the one who, etc., etc., phrases like this, once you start for hearing them, then it's a sign that you are having a communication breakdown in that particular relationship because things are just not working out. Una know they understand on ourselves better. But I'm not the expert, so stay with you because this morning we're going to ask waiting a communication in a relationship. How important is it? And when we come next, we can talk to Rocklin Alvin Finlay, with a relationship coach and the host of Love Zone on Afri Radio. This is the Epic Morning Show, and relationship will continues here this morning. In the studio with me, I get Rocklin Alvin Finlay. Good morning, Mr. Finlay.
Good morning, listeners, and of course, welcome to the Epic Morning Show. It's a pleasure being here.
All right. So this morning we will talk about communication in a relationship. So for a lot of people, this is a subject we they not quite understand, including
Okay.
me sitting here.
Yeah.
So what's that communication in a relationship? Because I'd imagine when we talk about relationship, the form of communication is different compared to other aspects of our lives.
All right. Okay. Plenty ten they would already where people can use this word say communication are the key to relationship. You know, as it is, it may sound cliche to some extent, but it's not a fact because what you know, there's no relationship where they survive without effective communication. And when we say communication, are both ways. It's about you sending out message, somebody understanding, and also replying back. But nowadays, we look at the relationships them where we're into. The aspect of communication is missing in some relationships. In as much as we can love ourselves, in as much as we can stay in a relationship for a very long time, but it's about how effectively we know ourselves. So communication are for able for dig deep into your partner in life, able for know what your partner want, what they feel, what in like and what in not like. Sometimes we can stay into a relationship for as long as 10, 15, 20 years, but you don't know your partner very well. Simply because we not communicate. We not get time for talk to each other. We not get time for passively and aggressively communicate to each other. So most times you look at the norms in society today, you dey find out say communication is a gap. It's a gap because one, people are not see the need for communicate. Then two, people are not think say importance for even communicate. Then three, people they make assumptions. And when you dey into a relationship, you not find for like you assume for your partner. So you find for like they communicate because what you do in communication gives you the free will and the free mindset for able for know which your partner they feel at that moment in time. For like you able for understand how you self able for address that's which way they feel. Because relationship by itself not just form. It involves two people. So communication are a two-way street. You have to give and you have to receive at the end of the day. So now, in most relationship, there are plenty ten in the way sometimes either the man they grumble but still we not like, or maybe the woman they grumble but still we not like. The one go say, you they nag too much. You know that aspect of nag, you know, people like can say, you they nag too much. I think say now I love not because usai love the nagging not the day. The fact that the person they communicate to you now because he wants the relationship, he cherish and value the relationship, and he thinks that we need for work on this relationship. But when once you begin here, you say, but you dey grumble too much, you dey nag too much, which means interest only on the one side. But also people and for be very aware that in communicating only means say verbally you they communicate.
Yeah, because that kind of in mind, and some people think, is it just about talking, or is more than that?
No, it's more than just talking. Sometimes you need to talk, but you move that cable for no say this person Jawad no okay today. If you can't, you just quiet someone you sit down, so you full and full foot. I talk to you, probably you no answer. Just by the mood, the tone, the facial appearance, you face how you appear. Even sometimes your body language, sometimes how I touch you, say no, left me first. Then see then you communicate. So straight away, if you get a sensitive partner, because again that's a problem. We not get sensitive partners. People are really conscious about the relationship. And if for come and see me wife or see me partner and say something is not right. Wait happen if na stress then go stress you in office or whatever it is, if na family thing, say it out, speak it out. But In your relationship, if you're not sensitive, you're not able to understand. So non-verbally as well, you're able to communicate through body language, through the voice of your tone, through the way you they make you gestures, you're able to communicate. And if you're not that kind of partner way, you observe some differences in your partner, it find and best for let una get a time for talk. Set a time for talk with your partner. Because from time to time, if find una the talk. Most people in the way, for me, in my relationship, I prefer for talk. Waiting they happen to me, I prefer for openly say am. But there are some people where their own lifestyle, they prefer for stay silent.
Yeah, because you get people who will say, I'm not the talkative kind of person. So how do I communicate my feelings with my partner?
It not necessarily mean say you need for be that kind boku talk person for you to talk boku. But for communicate how you dey feel to your partner, once in a while, if you don't listen to you, communicate. Once you free will and your mindset knows say you don't communicate, then for them people in the way probably go to say how for communicate to my partner different way than they. Sometimes they, if you see say your partner na that kind of aggressive partner way, you know as you begin talk so you don't pull an emote. Wait the time way sometimes it calm. Wait the time way it need you. Wait the time way sometimes he want for make fun with you and use that moment and say let's talk. Set a time for talk. And when una dey talk in communication, make sure say una set the ambience. Wetin are the ambience? The ambience simply means say the environment will be free of distortion. You not go say let's set time for talk. You dey on your phone, you dey play with your phone, you dey watch television, you dey play with your computer, or you not get me time. So which means wetin are the talk? It not necessary to you, not make sense. Set a time for talk with your partner. Then you will communicate to your partner. Be sure about what you want for communicate. Because you will get 1,000 words for say within a minute or within an hour. How you dey put the words in there. So be clear about what you want for say. And be sure that thing way you want for say now something where they affect you internally. Not go begin talk say the other ten I saw you with the other woman. I don't know woman and they not just begin that kind of way they talk them internally, let feel like they happen to you. Then also most times we can know how for talk. We can know how for communicate, but the manner at which also we can use for communicate, especially for the woman them, the tonation way they use. You might be right in your opinion for say, well, listen, man, this the way they do me and all that and blah 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 this and that. But the mode, how you they communicate. Some woman get that very good voice. Where if you talk to him and say, people are all on the next compound, they all agree. So your tonation as a man or as a woman, how you they communicate to your partner is very important because communication gets a style. And there are 4 styles in communication. I need to say this. You get the passive style. The passive style, you get the aggressive style, you get the passive aggressive, then you get the assertive style.
What's in the passive will involve?
So passive style now, there are them people the way they communicate, but they need to truly come out with their feelings. I will communicate to you, say, Jawad, I don't like what you do, but I know deeply they tell you waiting as a result of waiting at the feel. So then they communicate to you, but they hide their true feelings. You don't know their emotions, except you dig deeper. Then you get the aggressive type. Then are the loud and intense people. You know, some people are way they communicate in voice loud. Even when you go to talk to you, they feel saying apply by they make it aggressive. Then kind of style and they don't find in the relationship. They get the passive aggressive. So you put the two together. The passive aggressive, well, and then kind of way, most times when they communicate, they use sarcasm. They use some kind of, fun, they kind of use some kind of light moment for just communicate. Even though sometimes something goes serious, but they always they take another oh Jawad, forget bo. How you make so yourself? These are this type of people. But the best type of people are the way they use the assertive style. The assertive style are the people away from afar. I don't notice say Jawad is not okay. From afar, I don't try for fix up the problem. And so by reaching out, some people and the way you avoid their relationship, that they come around you. Then I for tell you say they are always conscious about the relationship. So the assertive type are the people away where you change in 1 minute. They want for no why. Some people will get conscience that they are assertive people. We get conscience. You go on for come out and say, but why do you behave so? Why I message you, not text back? Why I call you, not pick? Then if he really want for no, he go ask. And when you ask the question, it means somebody get for respond on the other side. So in a relationship, I think say healthy because in communicating, it help the relationship from boku problem of lack of understanding, lack of mistrust. Because then suddenly we can get trust issues in relationship. Trust issues are something very vibrant. And all about relationship, I can always tell people and say, it goes beyond just love. It goes beyond just LOVE. And love itself, not only the only factor where they keep a relationship. So many factors. You know,
And while we talk on that, there are times people start the relationship very perfectly, then they talk 3 or 4 times a day, then they hang out on weekends, do stuff together. When the communication gap they start,
Yeah.
how do you notice that?
Obviously, all relationship where they start, you get the moment of bluesum where like all team fine. When I go to get them free call in a net, if we're not there together, if we're not there together, when I go to stay up, they talk, when they chat, everything. But after 3 months, naturally, that vibe they begin reduce. Some man sometimes they go 3 months. Some man, especially relationship we not sincere. Sometimes inside 1 week, the vibe don't lost. Inside 1 month, the vibe don't lost. So when you notice the communication gap as a man or as a woman, you duty now for make sure say you activate them back. How you dey activate them? That thing where you partner be they do to you, that way you want to, or that way will not be just day. If you find out say that thing they don't stop, it's best and nice for una get a talk. Una get a talk around that day. How that man be they behave to you? Because we get so many people away they want partners now. Like for example, so many men if they want woman now, you go to behave some kind of way for impress them. No sooner I get the woman, it don't change. Likewise, you got some woman back, wait until you want to let man marry them. He go to behave himself, they comport himself. No sooner they make the wife now, they don't turn bone at throat. Then now now they challenge the man. Do I be the call her honey, sweetie, darling? They don't change now. Now Abdul they call him by name. Then I for tell and say respect no day. So in your relationship, the communication gap they start for exist when one doubt day. If the person not get clarity about what you do and what you do up to, doubt the day. Two, communication gap they establish when silent treatment they come into play. For some people, when they go through stress in the relationship, when they go through hurt in the relationship, instead of them complain, they keep them low profile and keep to themselves. Simply because not of us say some no one for complain. Someone for complain, but always when they complain, in partner they tag and say, you dey nag too much, you dey grumble too much, I don't like you type man, I don't like you type woman. In fact, I never meet you type man or woman before. So as a result, himself, when he gets in problem, he keep on to himself. If the man able for understand, he left to him. But silent treatment in a relationship now a very bad thing because you don't able to communicate nothing to the person. You don't able to communicate your feelings. And most times the gap also in communication, they come as a result of loss of intimacy. You know, the intimacy, if you dey in a relationship, there is no way una dey get that gap. But when once the gap don't dey, which means intimacy don't dey, which means lack of intimacy, which means also the understanding between each other. I can tell you, some people can dey in a relationship for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, but they don't properly understand themselves. Understanding you partner not necessarily means say when he need sex or when he need food or when he need for go out. Not so that they no more understanding. Understanding simply means how they relate, how they perceive things, how they understand something. If I talk to you now, how you understand them and how you reply back. Sometimes I can talk to you in good faith for communicate how they feel, but sometimes you take them wrongly and you attack me with a violent voice. So as a partner, what it mean? It means say I don't feel deep regret why I even communicate. So most times in a relationship, plenty of people they feel deep regret because sometimes your partner no they understand. And when you get a partner we know they understand, or a partner we refuse for understand, because you get some that they don't understand, but they refuse not for understand because simply sometimes they play games, they in your own way. So even when they communicate, they say you they nag too much, you they grumble too much. When you get such partner, it's very, very much unhealthy for the relationship. So in terms of communication, if I don't communicate not only the sex life, not only the money, una goals, what you know for achieve. Also, when I talk about the future, any relationship who say the word future not the you man or you woman went away from that relationship. Any way you ask the man, so waiting at the plan now for me and you. The man say, but wait first, Lord look up to God. All time God. Sometimes God can even speak to the man, but any outside the man begin procrastinate. Just no say I better not there. And so in a relationship, before you waste your time with somebody who not get no future with you, it's well best and nice to be single always. Because being single, it limit you from bokuti in the way they happen.
All right. This is a conversation we definitely will continue. We really hope so. We'll get more time for on this subject. But we just will talk to Rocklin Alvin Finlay. But quickly before we go, let me just pick your brain on this. For people that now we get communication crisis in their relationship,
Okay.
or then they struggle for reach them partners. I mean, then they talk, but you not really feel like you know. I'm waiting to be the quick tips where you go give them for make the finally able breakthrough.
Get your partner for listen to you. Get your partner for understand what you want. And like as I say, be clear about what you want for communicate to your partner. And you get for know how for communicate to your partner, when for communicate to your partner, and who side for communicate to your partner. Sometimes you might be right in your opinion as a man or as a woman, but sometimes the mood, the tone way you use for talk to your man or talk to your partner might be violent. And so when once the man see and say this woman violent in talking to me, they become aggressive. Instead of back take her easy. If all ten if you know mommy cause force you are used for low cancer to talk, obviously the man they take her easy with you.
All right, thank you very much, Roxlyn, Alvin, Finlay. We done the talk to with this morning about communication in a relationship.